To choose yourself is not an act of selfishness or ego as some might believe. No, it is the recognition of your true self, the acknowledgement of the God within you. When you choose yourself, you are aligning with the creative force of the universe, the very essence of being that flows through all things. Consider for a moment the great masters and teachers throughout history. Did they not first choose themselves, recognizing their divine nature and unique purpose before they could offer the gifts to the world? Jesus himself proclaimed, "I and the Father are one." This was not a statement of arrogance, but a profound recognition of his true identity, an identity that each of you shares. When you choose yourself, you are declaring to the universe, "I am." You are stepping into the role of creator in your own life, assuming the state of the wish fulfilled. This, my friends, is the cornerstone of manifestation, the foundation upon which all desires are built. But what does it mean to truly choose yourself? It means to love yourself unconditionally, to honor your dreams and aspirations, to trust your intuition, and to nurture your unique gifts. It means to stand firm in your convictions, even when the world seems to stand against you. Imagine for a moment that you are a brilliant light like beacon of divine radiance. Would you cover this light with a bushel, hiding it from the world? Of course not. You will let it shine forth, illuminating not only your own path, but the path of what is around you. This is what it means to choose yourself, to let your light shine without apology or hesitation. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I have made mistakes. I have flaws and imperfections. How can I choose myself when I feel unworthy? To this I say, your perceived flaws and mistakes are but illusions, shadows cast by the light of your true self. They are not who you are, but experiences you have had in your journey of self-discovery. Remember, my dear friends, that the God within you is perfect, whole, and complete. When you choose yourself, you are choosing this divine perfection, this eternal and unchanging essence of your being. You are not choosing your past actions or your future potential, but the ever-present I am that exists beyond time and space. As you begin to truly choose yourself, you will notice a remarkable shift in your reality. The world around you will begin to reflect this choice, mirroring back to you the love, respect, and honor that you have given to yourself. This is the law of assumption in action, the principle that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state of being. But choosing yourself is not a one-time event, my friends. It is a continuous practice, a moment-by-moment decision to align with your highest self. Each day upon waking, affirm to yourself, I choose myself. I honor my divine nature. I trust in the wisdom of my inner being. Let these words sink deep into your consciousness, becoming the foundation of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. As you move through your day, be mindful of the choices you make. Are they in alignment with your true self? Or are they based on fear, doubt, or the expectations of others? When faced with a decision, ask yourself, what would the highest version of myself choose in this moment? Then have the courage to make that choice, regardless of what others may think or say. Now let us turn our attention to the second part of our topic, then choose who chooses you. This, my dear friends, is equally important in the dance of manifestation and self-realization. For just as you must choose yourself, you must also be discerning in who you allow into your inner circle, who you give your energy and attention to. When you have truly chosen yourself, when you have aligned with your divine nature and let your light shine, you attract others. Others who recognize and appreciate your radiance. These are the people who choose you, not for what you can do for them, but for who you truly are. But here's the crucial point. You must still choose them in return. Just because someone chooses you does not mean they automatically deserve a place in your life. You must exercise your divine right of discernment, choosing to surround yourself with those who uplift, support, and inspire you on your journey of self-realization. Think of it this way: you are the custodian of a sacred temple, the temple of your own being. Would you allow just anyone to enter this temple? Of course not. You would carefully consider who is worthy of crossing that threshold, who will honor the sanctity of your inner space. This applies to all relationships in your life: romantic partners, friends, business associates, even family members. While we cannot choose our blood relations, we can choose the nature and extent of our interactions with them. Always remember you have the power to set boundaries, to decide who has access to your energy in your inner world. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, isn't it selfish? Shouldn't we love everyone unconditionally? To this I say, loving someone does not mean you must allow them unrestricted access to your life. You can love someone from a distance, wish them well, and still choose not to have them in your inner circle. True unconditional love begins with loving yourself unconditionally. From this wellspring of self-love, you can then extend love to others in a way that honors both them and yourself. It is not about exclusion, but about conscious inclusion, about creating a harmonious environment that supports your growth and the growth of those around you. As you begin to choose who chooses you, you may find that some relationships in your life naturally fall away. This is not a cause for sadness or regret, but a sign that you are aligning more fully with your true self. Trust in this process, for as these connections dissolve, new ones will form, connections that are more in harmony with your elevated state of being. Remember the words of Jesus, for many are called, but few are chosen. In the context of our discussion, we can interpret this to mean that while many may be drawn to your light, only those who truly resonate with your highest self should be chosen to be part of your inner circle. This process of choosing who chooses you is not about judgment or superiority. It is about energetic alignment and mutual growth. The people you choose to surround yourself with should be those who inspire you to be your best self, who challenge you to grow, who support your dreams and aspirations. Imagine for a moment that you are a grand piano, finely tuned and capable of producing the most beautiful music. The people you choose to have in your life should be like skilled musicians who know how to play you, bringing out your best notes, creating harmonies that elevate both you and them. They should not be those who bash at your keys discordantly or try to change your tune to suit their own preferences. As you practice choosing who chooses you, you will find that your relationships become deeper, more authentic, and more fulfilling. You will no longer waste energy on connections that drain you or hold you back. Instead, you will cultivate a circle of individuals who reflect and amplify your own divine nature. But let me caution you, my friends, this process of choosing who chooses you is not about creating an echo chamber of yes men and sycophants. The people you choose should also be those who are not afraid to speak their truth, to challenge you when necessary, to hold up a mirror to your blind spots. For it is through these interactions that we grow and evolve. Think of the great friendships throughout history, David and Jonathan, Ruth and Naomi, Emerson and Thoreau. These were individuals who chose each other, who recognized the divine spark in one another and nurtured it. They challenged each other, supported each other, and in doing so, they both grew into the fullness of their potential. Now, as we delve deeper into this concept, I want you to understand that choosing who chooses you is not a one-time decision. Just as choosing yourself is an ongoing practice, so too is the discernment of who you allow into your inner circle. It requires constant awareness and periodic assessment. People change, circumstances change, and you yourself are constantly evolving. A relationship that once served your highest good may no longer do so. It is your responsibility to recognize when this happens and to have the courage to make the necessary adjustments. This does not mean you should discard people at the first sign of difficulty or disagreement. No, it means that you should be aware of the overall energy of your relationships. Do they predominantly uplift and inspire you, or do they drain and diminish you? Are they based on mutual respect and growth, or on codependency and limitation? As you engage in this practice of choosing who chooses you, you may find that some people in your life resist this change. They may be accustomed to having unrestricted access to your energy and attention, and they might push back against your newfound boundaries. This is where your commitment to choosing yourself will be tested. Remember, my dear friends, that you are not responsible for other people's reactions to your growth. Your only responsibility is to be true to yourself, to honor your divine nature, and to create an environment that supports your highest good. In these moments of resistance, return to your inner knowing. Reconnect with the God within you. Feel the strength and certainty of your I Am presence. From this place of inner alignment, you will know how to respond with love and firmness, maintaining your boundaries while still honoring the dignity of others. As you continue on this journey of choosing yourself and then choosing who chooses you, you will begin to notice a remarkable transformation in your life. Your relationships will become more authentic, more supportive, more aligned with your true self. You will find yourself surrounded by individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and celebrate your growth. But more than that, you will notice a shift in how you perceive yourself and your place in the world. By consistently choosing yourself, you affirm your worthiness, your divine nature, your right to exist fully and unapologetically as who you truly are. This self-affirmation becomes a powerful force of manifestation, attracting experiences and opportunities that align with your highest vision for yourself. And by choosing who chooses you, you create a supportive ecosystem for your growth and self-realization. You surround yourself with mirrors that reflect back to you your own divine nature, amplifying your light and inspiring you to shine even brighter. This, my dear friends, is how you create heaven on earth. For what is heaven but a state of perfect alignment with your true self, surrounded by souls who recognize and celebrate your divine nature? Now, I want to address a common misconception that may arise as you embark on this journey. Some may interpret the idea of choosing yourself as a license for narcissism or self-centeredness. Nothing could be further from the truth. When you truly choose your highest self, your divine nature, you naturally become more compassionate, more generous, more loving towards others. Why is this so? Because when you recognize the God within yourself, you cannot help but see it in others as well. You begin to understand that we are all interconnected, all expressions of the same divine consciousness. Your self expands to include all of humanity, all of creation. From this expanded sense of self, your choices become aligned with the highest good of all. You choose yourself not at the expense of others, but in a way that uplifts everyone around you. And when you choose who chooses you, you do so with the understanding that these relationships are not just for your benefit, but for the benefit of all. Consider the great leaders and visionaries throughout history. They chose themselves first. They believed in their vision, their purpose, their divine calling. Then they chose who chose them. They surrounded themselves with individuals who believed in their vision and could help bring it to fruition. In doing so, they changed the world, benefiting not just themselves, but all of humanity. You, my dear friends, have the same potential within you. You are here to make a unique contribution to the world, to express a facet of the divine that only you can express. By choosing yourself and then choosing who chooses you, you are creating the optimal conditions for this expression to manifest. As we near the conclusion of our discourse, I want to leave you with a practical exercise, a way to embody this principle in your daily life. Each morning as you wake, take a few moments to connect with your inner being. Feel the presence of the God within you. Affirm to yourself, I choose myself. I honor my divine nature. I trust in the wisdom of my inner being. Then, as you move through your day, be mindful of your interactions with others. Before engaging in any significant exchange or making any important decision, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this choice aligned with my highest self? Is this person or situation supporting my growth and self-realization? If the answer is yes, proceed with confidence and gratitude. If the answer is no, have the courage to redirect your energy, to set boundaries, to choose differently. Remember, every choice is an opportunity to align more fully with your true self and to create relationships that reflect and support this alignment. And each night, before you sleep, review your day. Acknowledge the moments when you successfully chose yourself and chose who chooses you. Celebrate these victories, no matter how small they may seem. For each of these choices is a step towards the full realization of your divine nature. If you find instances where you faltered, where you made choices that were not aligned with your higher self, do not judge or condemn yourself. Simply acknowledge these moments with compassion, understanding that you are on a journey of growth and learning. Use these experiences as opportunities for greater awareness and commit to choosing differently in the future. As you consistently practice this principle of always choose yourself, then choose who chooses you, you will begin to notice profound changes in your life. Your sense of self-worth will deepen. Your relationships will become more fulfilling, and your ability to manifest your desires will increase exponentially. You will find yourself naturally attracting opportunities and individuals that align with your highest vision for yourself. Doors that once seemed closed will begin to open, and paths that were previously hidden will reveal themselves. For when you choose yourself, you are choosing the God within you, and nothing is impossible to God. Remember, my dear friends, that you are not alone on this journey. The entire universe is conspiring to support your growth and self-realization. Every experience, every relationship, every challenge is an opportunity for you to choose yourself more fully, to align more completely with your divine nature. And as you choose who chooses you, you are creating a community of like-minded souls, a support system that will uplift and inspire you on your path. These individuals will be your cheerleaders, your collaborators, your mirrors, reflecting back to you your own innate divinity and infinite potential. In closing, I want to remind you of the immense power that lies within you. You are not just a physical being having a spiritual experience, but a spiritual being having a physical experience. You are a unique expression of the divine with gifts and talents that only you can bring to the world. By choosing yourself, you are honoring this truth. You are stepping into your power as a co-creator with the universe. And by choosing who chooses you, you are creating an environment that nurtures and supports this divine expression. So go forth, my dear friends, with the knowledge that you are worthy of choosing yourself. You are worthy of surrounding yourself with those who recognize and celebrate your true nature. You are worthy of living a life that is a full and complete expression of the God within you. Choose yourself, then choose who chooses you. In doing so, you are not just transforming your own life, but you are contributing to the transformation of the entire world. For as you align with your highest self and surround yourself with those who do the same, you become a beacon of light, inspiring others to do the same. This is how we create heaven on earth, one choice at a time. This is how we fulfill our divine purpose and become living expressions of love, joy, and infinite possibility. This is how we honor the God within us and within all of creation. Thank you, my dear friends, for your attention and your willingness to embark on this journey of self-discovery and self-realization. May you always choose yourself, and may you be blessed with relationships that reflect and amplify your divine nature. Go in peace, go in love, and always remember the power that resides within you. The power to choose, the power to create, the power to be who you truly are. God bless you all.
Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine holding a life of unimaginable wealth in your hands, not in some distant future, but as if it already exists. Feel the texture of that life, the freedom, the ease, the joy it brings. This is not wishful thinking, it is the power that transforms lives. We live in a world where reality constantly demands our attention, chaining us to what is visible and measurable. But the truth is, the visible is only a reflection of the invisible. The wealth you seek will never arrive if you anchor your mind solely in what is. Instead, to become super rich, you must shift your focus from reality to the unseen, to the vision of the life you desire. The first step is to understand this: the outer world is nothing but a mirror of your inner state. If you see lack, it's because your inner dialogue echoes with scarcity. If you see limitation, it's because your imagination has not been allowed to roam free. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you summon by aligning your inner consciousness with abundance. Your present circumstances are only shadows of your past beliefs. To change them, stop giving energy to what you see and begin to focus on what you desire. Imagine vividly that you are already wealthy. How do you feel? How do you act? What does your life look like? Immerse yourself in that feeling until it becomes more real to you than the world around you. It is not enough to hope or want, you must embody the certainty that it already is. Doubt is the language of limitation. The moment you allow doubt to seep in, you reinforce the reality you're trying to escape. The path to wealth is a narrow one because it requires unyielding faith. Guard your mind as you would a treasure chest, allowing no thought of failure or scarcity to take root. When you plant a seed, do you dig it up every day to check if it's growing? No, you trust the process, knowing the seed will sprout in due time. Wealth works the same way. Your job is not to figure out how it will come. Your job is to align yourself with the feeling of already having it, trusting that the invisible forces of creation will arrange the rest. Words carry immense power. Speak about your wealth as though it's already yours. Declare it with conviction, even if the outer world hasn't caught up yet. When you say, "I am wealthy," you are not lying to yourself. You are commanding reality to align with your vision. Gratitude is the bridge between desire and manifestation. Be thankful not for what you have now, but for the wealth you know is on its way. When you live in gratitude, you tell the universe, "I trust you. I know you've already delivered my riches." And in that trust, miracles unfold. The moments before sleep are sacred. As you drift into unconsciousness, your mind is most impressionable. Visualize your wealthy life just before sleep, feeling the joy and security it brings. This practice sows seeds of abundance deep into your subconscious, where they will grow and bear fruit. Wealth is not a destination, it is a state of being. It is not reserved for a select few, it is available to anyone who dares to claim it. The key is to stop reacting to what is and start creating what will be. Shift your focus away from reality, not to escape it, but to reshape it. In the unseen lies the foundation of all visible wealth. Dare to believe, dare to feel, and dare to claim the riches that are already yours. The world will follow your lead, for creation begins not in action but in imagination. Wealth is not elusive. It is not a privilege granted to a select few. It is a state of consciousness, a mindset, a decision. To possess wealth outwardly, you must first possess it inwardly. It is not achieved through hard labor alone or through mere luck. It is a deliberate act of shifting your focus, a mastery of the unseen forces that govern reality. You are not at the mercy of external circumstances, for the power to change them lies entirely within you. Do not allow the noise of the external world to distract you from the truth. What you see with your physical eyes is not the ultimate reality. It is a reflection, a projection of the beliefs and feelings you hold deep within. If you look around and see lack, it is only because lack has found a place in your consciousness. If you see struggle, it is because struggle has become the story you tell yourself. But just as easily as you created these conditions, you can uncreate them and replace them with abundance. The key lies in mastering your imagination, for imagination is the foundation of creation. When you imagine wealth vividly and consistently, you activate a creative power that begins to mold the world around you to match your vision. Close your eyes and picture the life you desire, not as something distant or uncertain, but as something real, something present, something inevitable. Feel the joy of having it now. Feel the freedom, the security, the excitement of unlimited possibilities. The more you dwell in this state, the more real it becomes, until eventually the outer world has no choice but to align itself with your inner reality. Do not underestimate the power of feeling. It is not enough to think about wealth, you must feel it. Your emotions are the language through which you communicate with the infinite. When you feel wealthy, even if your bank account tells a different story, you are sending a signal to the universe that this is your truth. The universe, impartial and obedient, responds by rearranging circumstances to reflect that truth. This is not magic, it is law. What you feel, you attract. What you dwell upon, you become. But here lies the challenge. The present moment often screams for attention. It demands that you focus on what is rather than what could be. Bills must be paid, obligations met, and hardships endured. Yet if you allow these temporary conditions to dominate your focus, you only perpetuate them. The secret is to live in the world yet not be of it. To see the circumstances before you but refuse to accept them as permanent. To acknowledge the present while steadfastly believing in the vision of your future. Every moment you are faced with a choice. Will you let the evidence of your senses dictate your beliefs, or will you let your beliefs dictate the evidence of your senses? Choose wisely, for one path leads to stagnation, and the other leads to transformation. When you shift your focus away from what is and toward what will be, you set a process in motion that cannot be stopped. You have planted the seed of wealth, and as long as you nurture it with faith and persistence, it must grow. Faith is the cornerstone of this process. Faith is not hope, it is certainty. It is knowing, without a shadow of a doubt, that your vision will become reality. When you have faith, you do not need to see immediate results to know that progress is being made. Just as the farmer trusts that the seed he plants will one day yield a harvest, so too must you trust that your vision of wealth will manifest. Doubt is the enemy of creation. To doubt is to dig up the seed before it has had a chance to grow. Guard your mind against doubt, for it has the power to undo all the work you have done. In this journey, patience is your ally. The outer world often takes time to catch up with your inner transformation. This is not a sign of failure, but a natural part of the process. Do not let impatience derail you. Persist in your imagination, no matter how long it takes. The longer you hold the vision, the stronger it becomes, and the more inevitable its manifestation. Remember, the wealth you seek is not outside of you. It is within you, waiting to be claimed. The circumstances of your life do not determine your wealth, your consciousness does. Change your consciousness, and your circumstances must follow. This is not a theory or a philosophy, it is a law, as reliable as gravity. When you align yourself with the feeling of already being wealthy, the universe responds with opportunities, ideas, and resources that bring your vision to life. One of the most powerful tools you have is your words. Speak as though your wealth is already a reality. Declare it with confidence, not as something you hope for, but as something you know to be true. Words are not just sounds, they are commands that shape the fabric of reality. When you say, "I am wealthy," you are not pretending or deceiving yourself. You are affirming the truth of your inner vision, and in doing so, you are calling it into existence. Gratitude is another key to unlocking wealth. Be grateful, not only for what you have, but for what you are becoming. Gratitude creates a powerful vibration that attracts more of what you appreciate. When you give thanks for your wealth, even before it has appeared in physical form, you create a state of receptivity that allows it to flow into your life. Gratitude is the language of abundance. Use it often and watch how your reality begins to shift. Nighttime offers a unique opportunity to reinforce your vision. As you drift off to sleep, your mind is in a state of heightened receptivity. Use this time to imagine your wealthy life in vivid detail. See yourself living in the home of your dreams, traveling to the places you've always wanted to visit, sharing your abundance with those you love. Feel the emotions of gratitude and joy, as though it is all happening now. This practice imprints your vision onto your subconscious mind, which then works tirelessly to bring it to fruition. Persist in this work, even when the outer world shows no immediate signs of change. The process of creation takes time, and the greatest transformations often happen beneath the surface, invisible to the eye. Do not let appearances discourage you. Hold steadfast to your vision, knowing that it is already on its way. Reality must conform to the beliefs you hold with conviction. This is not a possibility, it is a certainty. Wealth is your birthright, but it is not something that can be claimed through effort alone. It must first be claimed in consciousness. The world will try to convince you otherwise. It will tell you that you must work harder, sacrifice more, and settle for less. Do not listen to these voices. They speak from ignorance, not truth. The truth is that you are the creator of your reality, and wealth is yours for the taking when you align yourself with its frequency. Let your imagination be your guide. Let your feelings be your compass. Let your faith be your foundation. When you shift your focus away from the limitations of reality and toward the boundless possibilities of your vision, you unlock a power within you that is greater than any obstacle, greater than any challenge, greater than any circumstance. You become a magnet for wealth, a creator of abundance, a master of your destiny. The power of your focus determines the trajectory of your life. Where your attention flows, energy goes, and where energy flows, creation happens. To become super rich, you must discipline your mind to dwell not on what is lacking, but on what is abundant. This practice of shifting focus is not an escape from reality, but a deliberate act of creation. You are not ignoring the world as it appears, you are transcending it, seeing through the illusion of limitation to the infinite abundance that lies beneath. You must cultivate a vision of wealth so vivid and so compelling that it becomes more real to you than the physical circumstances surrounding you. Every day, revisit this vision. Engage with it fully. Hear the sounds, see the sights, and feel the textures of your imagined reality. When you walk, walk with the confidence of someone who has already achieved great success. When you speak, speak with the authority of one who knows their worth. By embodying this state of mind, you transform your entire being into a vessel ready to receive abundance. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, whispering that your dreams are too big or that your circumstances are too dire. Recognize these thoughts for what they are: remnants of an old mindset that no longer serves you. Do not fight them or resist them. Instead, gently redirect your focus back to your vision. The more you do this, the weaker those doubts become until they fade into the background, replaced by the certainty of your success. It is essential to guard your mind against negativity. The world is filled with voices that will try to convince you that wealth is difficult to achieve, that opportunities are scarce, or that you are undeserving. These are lies born of fear and ignorance. Do not let them take root in your consciousness. Instead, surround yourself with positive influences, books, people, and environments that uplift and inspire you. Create a sanctuary in your mind where only thoughts of abundance and possibility are allowed to enter. As you continue this journey, you will notice changes not just in your external circumstances, but in your internal state. You will feel lighter, freer, more confident. This is a sign that you are aligning with the energy of abundance. Embrace this feeling. Let it guide you in your actions, decisions, and interactions. When you operate from a place of abundance, you naturally attract opportunities that resonate with that energy. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, and encountering the right ideas. Wealth is not a solitary pursuit. It is a flow, a circulation of energy that touches the lives of many. As you step into your abundance, remember to share it freely. Give generously, not out of obligation, but out of joy. When you give, you reinforce the belief that there is always more than enough. This creates a cycle of giving and receiving that multiplies your wealth many times over. Generosity is not a drain on your resources, it is a catalyst for greater abundance. Your imagination is the workshop of the soul, the place where all great achievements begin. Use it wisely. Do not squander it on idle fantasies or fearful thoughts. Instead, channel it into the creation of your ideal life. Imagine not just wealth, but also the impact you will make, the lives you will touch, and the legacy you will leave behind. Let this vision inspire you to take bold, decisive action. Each step you take in alignment with your vision brings you closer to its realization. The journey to wealth is as much about personal growth as it is about financial gain. As you expand your consciousness to include greater abundance, you will discover strengths and talents you never knew you had. You will become more resourceful, more resilient, and more attuned to the opportunities around you. This is the true wealth, the ability to create, adapt, and thrive no matter the circumstances. Money is simply a reflection of this inner richness. The process of becoming super rich is not a straight line. There will be setbacks, detours, and challenges along the way. But these are not obstacles, they are opportunities for growth. Each challenge you face is a chance to reaffirm your commitment to your vision. Do not view these moments as failures, but as stepping stones on the path to success. With each challenge you overcome, you grow stronger, more focused, and more capable of handling even greater abundance. The laws of the universe are unchanging. What you focus on expands. What you feel, you attract. What you believe, you become. These are not mere words, but principles that govern the fabric of reality. Align yourself with these laws, and there is no limit to what you can achieve. Do not wait for the perfect moment to begin, for the perfect moment is now. Start where you are, with what you have, and trust that everything else will fall into place. The wealth you desire is already yours. It exists in the unseen, waiting for you to claim it. All that is required is a shift in focus, a realignment of your thoughts and feelings with the frequency of abundance. Do not let appearances deceive you. What you see is not all that there is. Beneath the surface lies a limitless field of potential, ready to be shaped by your imagination and will. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are a creator, a master of your destiny. Let this truth guide you as you move forward. Live each day as though your wealth has already manifested. Act with confidence, speak with authority, and think with clarity. The more you embody the state of being rich, the faster it becomes your reality. This is not a matter of if but when. Hold your vision, trust the process, and know that your success is inevitable. You are destined for greatness, and nothing can stand in your way. The universe is conspiring in your favor, ready to deliver the abundance you so richly deserve. Your destiny is shaped by the thoughts you persistently entertain. If you continually see yourself in lack, your world will mirror that lack. But if you shift your focus to abundance, to the life of unimaginable wealth and joy that you desire, then your reality must align with that focus. This is not wishful thinking, it is the law. The unseen powers that govern this universe respond not to your words or hopes, but to the deep convictions of your heart. You must take this truth and live it. Walk through each day as if you have already attained the wealth you seek. Feel the security it brings, the freedom it provides, and the joy it offers. These feelings are the currency of creation. They carry the blueprint of your desires into the fabric of reality. Every time you feel grateful for a life of abundance, even if it has not yet materialized in the physical realm, you are planting seeds that will inevitably grow into your experience. Do not concern yourself with the how. The path to your riches is not your concern. Your task is to focus on the end, to live in the fulfillment of your desire, as if it were already true. The how is the work of the unseen forces that respond to your belief. Trust this process. Doubt is the only thing that can delay your progress. If doubts arise, do not fight them. Acknowledge them, and then gently return your focus to your vision. Consistency is your greatest ally. Your wealth will come through avenues you cannot predict. It may arrive as a sudden opportunity, an inspired idea, or a chance meeting. Be open to these signs and act on them with confidence. When you move in alignment with your vision, you will find that doors open effortlessly, resources appear, and circumstances rearrange themselves to support your success. This is not coincidence, it is the manifestation of your focus and belief. Money is energy, and like all energy, it flows where it is invited and stays where it is valued. To attract wealth, you must cultivate a mindset of respect and appreciation for money. See it not as something to be hoarded or feared, but as a tool for creation and contribution. When you use money with purpose and gratitude, you create a flow that brings even more into your life. This flow is infinite, as long as you remain aligned with the energy of abundance. Every moment is an opportunity to affirm your wealth. Your words, thoughts, and actions must all align with the life you are creating. Speak only of prosperity, think only of possibility, and act as if your wealth is already here. This alignment creates a powerful resonance that draws your vision into reality. It is not enough to wish for wealth, you must embody it. Be the person who is already rich, and the world will reflect that truth back to you. Imagine for a moment that you are an artist, and your life is the canvas. Your thoughts are the brushstrokes, your feelings the colors, and your actions the composition. What masterpiece are you creating? Are you painting a picture of scarcity and struggle, or one of abundance and joy? The choice is yours. You have the power to create anything you desire. All it takes is a shift in focus, a decision to see beyond the limitations of the present and into the limitless possibilities of the future. The world around you is not fixed. It is fluid, malleable, and responsive to your inner state. When you change your focus, you change the world. This is why it is so important to guard your thoughts and feelings. Do not let the negativity of others or the challenges of life distract you from your vision. Stay committed, stay focused, and stay inspired. Your persistence will pay off, and the wealth you seek will become your reality. This journey is not without its tests. There will be times when circumstances seem to contradict your vision, when the evidence of the senses tempts you to abandon your belief. These moments are not setbacks, they are opportunities to strengthen your faith. When you remain steadfast in your focus, even in the face of apparent lack, you demonstrate the power of your conviction. And it is this unwavering belief that moves mountains and creates miracles. You are not limited by your past, your circumstances, or your current resources. These are but fleeting conditions, subject to change the moment you shift your focus. Do not dwell on what has been or what is. Instead, fix your gaze firmly on what will be. The future is yours to create, and it begins now, in this moment, with the thoughts you choose to think and the feelings you choose to feel. Make them count. Your imagination is your greatest asset. It is the tool through which you shape your reality. Use it wisely. Spend time each day visualizing your ideal life in vivid detail. See yourself living in the home of your dreams, driving the car you desire, traveling to the places that inspire you. Feel the joy, the freedom, and the gratitude of having it all. This is not a mere exercise, it is a rehearsal for the life that is coming to you. As you continue to focus on your vision, you will notice subtle shifts in your world. These are the first signs of your manifestation taking form. Celebrate them, no matter how small they may seem. Each shift is a confirmation that your focus is working, that your belief is creating change. Let these signs fuel your confidence and strengthen your commitment to your vision. The wealth you desire is not just for you. It is a gift to be shared, a blessing to be multiplied. When you give from a place of abundance, you affirm the truth of your wealth. Giving is not a loss, it is an expansion. The more you give, the more you receive, for in the act of giving, you align yourself with the flow of abundance. Let your wealth be a source of joy and inspiration to others, a testament to the power of focus and belief. You are more powerful than you know. Within you lies the ability to create a life of unimaginable wealth and joy. All it takes is a shift in focus, a decision to see beyond the limitations of the present and into the infinite possibilities of the future. Trust in this power, use it wisely, and know that the wealth you seek is already yours, waiting for you to claim it. Every thought, every feeling, every action you take in alignment with this truth brings you closer to the life you desire. You are the creator of your reality, the master of your destiny, and the architect of your dreams. Embrace this truth and let it guide you to the abundance that is your birthright. When you allow your inner vision to take precedence over the outer reality, you enter a realm where anything becomes possible. This is not escapism, it is mastery. To shift your focus away from the constraints of what is and immerse yourself in the creative power of what can be is to wield the same force that brought the universe into being. You align yourself with the essence of creation itself, and in doing so you summon the resources, opportunities, and experiences necessary to fulfill your desires. There will be those who question this approach, who insist on clinging to the tangible, the measurable, and the observable. They may call your dreams unrealistic or your focus impractical. But understand this, the reality they hold so tightly to is but a reflection of their own limited beliefs. Do not let their doubts become your doubts. Stand firm in your conviction, for the power within you is greater than any opinion or circumstance. Each day you must act as the person you wish to become. This means more than visualizing your desires, it means living them in your mind and actions. Dress, speak, and carry yourself as though you are already wealthy. Let your attitude and demeanor reflect the abundance you know is yours. This is not pretension, it is preparation. You are aligning your external actions with your internal state, creating a harmony that accelerates the manifestation of your desires. You will find that as you embody this new identity, the world begins to respond differently to you. People will see the confidence in your stride, the certainty in your voice, and the vision in your eyes. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will come knocking at your door. This is not luck or coincidence, it is the inevitable outcome of living in alignment with your vision. The universe cannot help but match the energy you project. Remember, you are not chasing wealth, you are attracting it. Chasing implies lack, a belief that what you desire is separate from you. Attraction, on the other hand, is a recognition that wealth is already yours in essence, awaiting your alignment to bring it into form. This subtle but profound shift in perspective changes everything. When you stop seeking and start embodying, you move from a state of striving to one of receiving. Gratitude is a powerful force in this process. Even before your wealth appears in tangible form, give thanks for it as though it is already here. Gratitude is the language of abundance, a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. When you feel grateful, you create a vibration that resonates with the wealth you desire, drawing it into your experience. Begin and end each day with gratitude, not just for what you have, but for what you know is on its way. Do not underestimate the power of persistence. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when the evidence of your senses seems to contradict your vision. In these moments, return to the truth of your inner world. Reaffirm your focus and remind yourself that the outer reality is merely a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It is in these moments of challenge that your faith is tested and strengthened. Stay the course, for the reward is worth every ounce of effort. As you navigate this journey, be mindful of the stories you tell yourself and others. Words are not just expressions, they are declarations of your belief. Speak only of abundance, possibility, and success. Avoid the temptation to complain or dwell on limitations, for every word you speak reinforces a reality. Let your words be a reflection of the life you are creating, not the life you are leaving behind. Time is not your enemy, it is your ally. Trust in the divine timing of your manifestations. The universe operates with precision, orchestrating events and circumstances in ways that may be invisible to you. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean it is not happening. Trust that every step you take, every thought you think, and every feeling you cultivate is moving you closer to your goal. Patience is not passive, it is an active state of faith. Surround yourself with images, symbols, and reminders of the wealth you desire. Create a vision board, write affirmations, or place objects in your environment that evoke the feelings of abundance. These physical representations serve as anchors for your focus, keeping your vision alive and vibrant. They remind you of what you are creating and reinforce your commitment to the process. Do not fear failure or setbacks. They are not signs that you are off course, but rather opportunities for growth and refinement. Each challenge you face is a lesson, each obstacle a stepping stone. Embrace them as part of your journey, knowing that they are shaping you into the person who can sustain the wealth you are attracting. Failure is not the end, it is a necessary ingredient in the recipe for success. Your imagination is infinite, and so are your possibilities. Do not limit your vision to what seems reasonable or attainable. Dream boldly, for the size of your vision determines the size of your success. The universe does not recognize limits, it responds to the energy and clarity of your focus. If you can imagine it and believe in it, you can achieve it. Let your imagination be the blueprint for the life of wealth and joy you desire. Take time each day to connect with the stillness within you. This is where your true power lies, in the quiet depths of your being. In this stillness, you can access the wisdom, guidance, and inspiration that will light your path. Meditation, prayer, or simply moments of silence can help you reconnect with your inner world and realign with your vision. This is not a luxury, it is a necessity for those who seek to create extraordinary lives. You are not alone in this journey. There is a force greater than you, a divine intelligence that supports and guides you. Trust in this power and know that it is always working on your behalf. When you feel overwhelmed or uncertain, surrender your doubts to this higher power. Let it carry your burdens and illuminate your path. Faith is not a weakness, it is the greatest strength you can possess. Your wealth is not just a destination, it is a journey of transformation. As you align with abundance, you will discover strengths, talents, and capacities within yourself that you never knew existed. You will grow in confidence, wisdom, and compassion. The person you become in the process of attracting wealth is the greatest reward of all. Let this journey be as much about who you are becoming as it is about what you are achieving. The power to create wealth lies within you, waiting to be awakened. It is not something you must acquire or achieve, it is something you must realize. The moment you shift your focus, you activate this power and set into motion the forces that will bring your desires into reality. Do not wait for permission or approval. Claim your power now and let it guide you to the life of abundance and joy that is your birthright. In closing, remember that the journey to extraordinary wealth and abundance begins and ends within you. It is not a matter of external circumstances or luck, but a deliberate shift in focus, belief, and imagination. As you align your thoughts with your desires and embody the person you wish to become, the world around you will inevitably reshape itself to reflect this new reality. Trust the process, remain steadfast in your vision, and nurture unwavering faith in the unseen. You are a creator, a vessel of infinite potential, and the architect of your destiny. Let your imagination lead, let gratitude anchor you, and let persistence carry you forward. The wealth you seek is already yours in essence. Claim it boldly, live it fully, and let it flow effortlessly into your experience. The life of your dreams is not just possible, it is waiting for you to embrace it.
Many of you sit here tonight caught in states of waiting for better health, waiting for financial abundance, waiting for love to enter your life, waiting for recognition, waiting for peace of mind. But I tell you, waiting is the antithesis of creation. In the realm of imagination, which is the realm of God, for God and your wonderful human imagination are one and the same, there is no waiting. There is only the eternal now. Let us examine the words of Scripture. For all Scripture is a psychological drama taking place in the depth of your own being. In the book of Revelation, we read, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me." This door is not some physical entrance, but the door of your consciousness. Your miracle is knocking right now, asking for entrance into your world. Will you let it in? The great mistake that mankind makes is believing that miracles are external events that happen to us through some force outside ourselves. This is the great illusion. The truth, the absolute truth that I am giving you tonight is that miracles are not external happenings but internal assumptions. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you live from the end as though your desire were already an accomplished fact, you are performing the greatest miracle. I recall a lady who came to me in utter despair. For 15 years she had been separated from her son. Legal battles, geographic distance, and family disputes had created what appeared to be an insurmountable barrier between them. She had tried everything the external world offered: lawyers, mediators, letters, phone calls, but to no avail. Then she discovered this principle. Instead of dwelling in the state of separation, which only perpetuated that reality, she began to sleep each night in the assumption that her son was back in her life. She would fall asleep feeling the joy of their reunion, hearing his voice, feeling his embrace. Within 3 weeks after 15 years of separation, her phone rang. It was her son calling from a nearby town, asking if he could come see her. The external bridge was built because the internal bridge had been established first in her imagination. This is how your miracle will come. Not by fighting against current circumstances, not by forcing external events, but by assuming in the depth of your consciousness that you already are what you desire to be. For consciousness is the only reality, and everything else is merely its shadow. Many of you have been taught to believe that your desires are too grand, that you must be practical, reasonable, and conform to the limitations of the world around you. This is the greatest lie ever perpetuated upon mankind. The truth is that your consciousness knows no limitations, and the miracle you seek is limited only by your capacity to imagine it as real. The Bible tells us all things are possible to him that believeth. But what does it mean to believe? It does not mean to intellectually accept something as true. True belief is the complete acceptance of your desire as an already existing fact. It is when your inner conversation and feeling states are in complete alignment with your wish fulfilled. When you truly believe, you cease trying to make things happen, because in your consciousness they have already happened. I want you to understand something fundamental about the nature of your miracle. The time interval between your assumption and its physical manifestation is merely a device of your three-dimensional world. In the fourth dimension of consciousness, where your imagination dwells, your miracle already exists in its completeness. The appearance of time is simply the movement of events across the screen of your three-dimensional world. So many of you are giving up just before your miracle manifests physically. You plant the seed in consciousness by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. But then you dig it up repeatedly to see if it's growing. No farmer would expect a harvest by continually uprooting his seeds to check their progress. Similarly, you must allow your assumption to take root in the first soil of your consciousness without the interference. Let me share with you another principle that is crucial to the manifestation of your miracle. What you focus on expands. If you focus on the absence of your desire, on the lack, on the waiting, on the not having, then that state of consciousness will expand and perpetuate itself. But if you focus on the presence of your desire, on the feeling of having it now. That state will expand and externalize itself in your world. There is a story in the Bible of the woman with the issue of blood who touched the hem of Jesus' garment and was healed instantly. Jesus said to her, "Thy faith hath made thee whole." Now, who is this Jesus in the story? He is your own wonderful human imagination. And the woman's faith was not a passive hope that she might be healed someday. It was an active assumption that by touching the garment, by making contact with the power of imagination, she would be healed now. And she was. Your miracle operates by the same principle. It requires your active assumption, your complete conviction that it is done. The world may present you with 1,000 reasons why your desire cannot be fulfilled. Circumstances may seem to contradict the possibility of your miracle. People may discourage you with their limited thinking. But I say to you with absolute authority, all external evidence is only the product of past assumptions. It has no power to prevent new assumptions from reshaping your world. Do not be discouraged by appearances. Appearances are shadows, while your consciousness is the substance. As Neville, I tell you that the secret to manifestation lies not in manipulating shadows, but in changing the substance from which shadows are cast. When you change your concept of self, when you assume a new state of consciousness, the shadows must conform. Now let us speak of persistence, for many of you are on the verge of giving up. You have tried to apply these principles, but you have not yet seen the physical evidence of your desires. Perhaps you have even concluded that these principles do not work for you. Let me tell you why this conclusion is false and why you must persist. The law of assumption is just that, a law. It is as consistent and unwavering as the law of gravity. It does not work sometimes and fail other times. It is always operating, whether you are conscious of it or not. If your desire has not yet manifested, it is not because the law has failed. It is because you have not yet fully assumed the consciousness of having your desire. There may still be contradictory assumptions operating beneath the surface of your awareness. Remember the words of Scripture, "Let patience have a perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." Patience in this context does not mean waiting passively for something to happen. It means maintaining your assumption regardless of appearances, until the bridge of incidents has been built that leads to the feature manifestation of your desire. There is a perfect time for the externalization of your desires, a divine timing that human intellect cannot calculate. This divine timing is determined not by some external clock, but by the complete saturation of your consciousness with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When there is no longer any conflict in your mind, when you have completely accepted your desire as an accomplished fact, then the miracle must come forth. I have seen countless individuals who were on the brink of giving up, who had tried everything and were ready to abandon their dreams, only to discover that their miracle was just around the corner. Had they given up, they would have never witnessed the manifestation that was already in motion. Think of Elijah in the Bible, who prayed for rain during a devastating drought. After his prayer, he sent his servant to look toward the sea for any sign of rain. 6 times the servant returned saying there was nothing. But on the 7th time, he reported seeing a small cloud, the size of a man's hand, rising from the sea. From that tiny cloud came a torrential downpour that ended the drought. Your miracle may begin as a small cloud on the horizon, a subtle shift in circumstances, an unexpected phone call, a chance meeting, a new idea. Do not despise these small beginnings, for they are the first physical evidence of the massive change that has already occurred in your consciousness. When Jesus stood before the tomb of Lazarus, who had been dead for 4 days, he did not pray for Lazarus to be resurrected. Instead, he said, "Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me." He gave thanks before any physical evidence of the miracle was present. This is the secret thanksgiving in advance. When you give thanks for your miracle as though it has already happened, you are establishing in consciousness the very condition that will objectify itself in your world. Let us explore another dimension of this principle. Many of you believe that your miracle requires the cooperation of specific individuals or the arrangement of particular circumstances. You think, if only my boss would give me that promotion, or if only that person would love me, or if only the market would shift in my favor. But this is to misunderstand the nature of creation. Your consciousness does not depend on any external condition for its creative power. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the entire universe rearranges itself to make that assumption a reality. People, circumstances, events, all are merely instruments for the externalization of your assumptions. They have no power to initiate causes. They can only reflect the causes you have initiated in your own consciousness. This principle removes all sense of dependency and victimhood. You are not at the mercy of others' decisions or external conditions. You are the operant power in your life. And the entire objective world is the servant of your assumptions. I recall a gentleman who was told by medical authorities that he had an incurable condition that would progressively worsen. The experts gave him no hope. But rather than accepting this verdict, he began to assume the feeling of perfect health. Each night before sleep, he would construct a scene implying that he was completely well. He would imagine his doctor expressing amazement at his recovery. He persisted in this assumption despite all physical evidence to the contrary. Within 6 months, he returned to his doctor for tests, and to the doctor's astonishment, there was no trace of the condition. The doctor called it a medical miracle. But it was not a medical miracle, it was a miracle of consciousness. You see, the creative power does not reside in the doctor, the medicine, or any external agency. It resides in your consciousness. When you change your concept of self, you change your relationship to everything in your world, including your own body. Now, I want to address a crucial aspect of manifestation that many overlook. Your miracle is not something separate from yourself. You are not trying to attract something from outside. You are awakening to the reality that everything you desire already exists within you in a state of potential. Manifestation is not attraction, it is expression. It is the outpicturing of what already exists within. Think of an acorn. Within that tiny seed exists the full potential of a mighty oak tree. The oak is not attracted to the acorn from outside. It unfolds from within as the inherent nature of the acorn expresses itself. Similarly, your miracle is the natural expression of the state of consciousness you have assumed. It is the oak tree emerging from the acorn of your assumption. This understanding transforms how you approach manifestation. Instead of trying to get something, you focus on being something. For what you are is what you will express, and what you express is what you will experience in your three-dimensional world. In the Bible we read, "Let this mind be in you which was also in Christ Jesus, who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God." This is not blasphemy, it is the statement of a psychological fact. Your imagination, Christ in you, is God in action. When you assume the mind of having what you desire, you are exercising the same creative power that created the universe. Your miracle is not coming, it exists now as a present reality in the imagination. And since imagination creates reality, the feeling state you assume today must objectify itself in your tomorrow. This is law, not luck or chance. Many of you have spent years affirming positive thoughts while maintaining a feeling state of lack. You have recited affirmations of abundance while feeling poor. You have declared health while feeling sick. You have professed love while feeling unloved. But I tell you, it is not what you affirm with your lips, but what you affirm in feeling that creates your reality. For feeling is the prayer, and prayer is feeling. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine with feeling, you become. Consider the story of Jacob and Esau. Jacob, whose name means supplanter, covered himself with the skins of goats to simulate the hairiness of his brother Esau. When his blind father Isaac felt him, he believed he was touching Esau and gave Jacob the blessing intended for the firstborn. This story is not about deception, but about the power of assumption. When you assume the feeling of being what you want to be, even though your reason and senses deny it, you receive the blessing, the manifestation of that state. Your miracle is already yours in the invisible reality of consciousness. The only distance between you and its physical manifestation is the distance between your present concept of self and the concept you would assume if your desire were already fulfilled. Close that gap in consciousness, and you close the gap in manifestation. Let me share with you a technique that has helped countless individuals bridge this gap. It is the technique of living from the end. Before you fall asleep each night, construct a scene in your imagination that would imply your miracle has already happened. Make this scene as vivid and as real as possible. Engage all your senses. What would you see? What would you hear? What would you feel? What would you smell or taste? How would others respond to you? Create this scene with such clarity that it feels more real than your bedroom. Then, enter fully into this scene. Don't observe it from a distance, be a participant in it. Feel the emotions you would feel if this were actually happening. Allow the joy, the gratitude, the peace, the excitement to course through your body. Fall asleep in this state, for the subconscious mind is most impressionable as you enter the sleep state. Do this night after night, and you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your waking reality. Opportunities will appear that were not there before. Resources will become available. People will respond to you differently. These are the signs that your assumption is taking root and beginning to objectify itself in your world. But do not make the mistake of looking for your miracle exactly as you have imagined it. The bridge of incidents that leads to your desire may take unexpected forms. Trust the wisdom of your deeper mind to bring about your desire in ways that your intellect cannot conceive. Your role is to maintain the assumption of the end, not to dictate the means. Now let us confront the great enemy of manifestation, doubt. Doubt is not the opposite of faith. It is faith in the opposite. When you doubt, you are actually exercising faith in what you do not want. You are assuming the feeling of not having, and that assumption must objectify itself just as surely as the assumption of having. The antidote to doubt is not blind optimism, but a deeper understanding of the creative process. When doubt arises, do not fight it or deny it. Instead, recognize it as a signal that you have temporarily slipped back into the old state of consciousness. Then, gently but firmly return to your new assumption. Persist in the assumption that your miracle is already yours, and eventually that assumption will harden into fact. Remember the words of Jesus, according to your faith be it unto you. Faith is not a sentiment, it is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is the feeling tone of already having what you desire. When you maintain this feeling despite all evidence to the contrary, you are exercising true faith, and your miracle must come. I want to address something that prevents many from fully applying these principles, the fear of disappointment. Some of you hold back from fully assuming your desire is fulfilled because you fear the pain of disappointment if it doesn't materialize. You think you are protecting yourself, but in reality, you are guaranteeing the very disappointment you seek to avoid. For the law of assumption operates with mathematical precision. What you assume, you become. If you assume that your desire might not be fulfilled, that assumption itself creates the condition where it cannot be fulfilled. But if you assume with complete conviction that it is already fulfilled, nothing in this world can prevent its manifestation. The secret is to transfer your faith from the evidence of the senses to the evidence of imagination. When you can feel the reality of your imagined state with the same intensity that you now feel the reality of your physical state, your miracle is assured. Consider the parable of the talents. The servant who buried his talent in the ground did so out of fear. He was afraid of losing what he had. But the master condemned this action, taking the 1 talent from him and giving it to the one who had 10 talents. This parable illustrates a profound psychological law. What you fear, you attract. What you try to avoid, you invite. The only way to truly possess what you desire is to assume the feeling of already possessing it. Your miracle is not some distant possibility. It is a present reality in consciousness waiting to be claimed. The choice is yours. Will you continue to live from the assumption of lack, of waiting, of hoping that someday your desire will be fulfilled? Or will you have the courage to assume right now that what you desire is already yours? I challenge you tonight to make a fundamental shift in consciousness. Stop thinking of yourself as someone who is trying to achieve a goal, and stop thinking of yourself as someone who has already achieved it. Stop seeing yourself as someone who is working toward health, and start seeing yourself as someone who is already healthy. Stop feeling yourself to be unloved, and start feeling yourself to be deeply loved. For what you assume, you become, and what you become in consciousness, you express in reality. The outer world may convince you that your miracle is impossible. People may tell you that you are being unrealistic, that you should accept your limitations and be content with less than your heart desires. But I tell you with absolute certainty, the only limitations that exist are those you accept in consciousness. Change your consciousness, and you change your world. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This word is not some utterance spoken thousands of years ago. It is the creative power of your own wonderful human imagination operating now, in this moment. When you speak the word in consciousness by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are invoking the same creative power that brought the universe into being. Your miracle does not require you to be special, talented, educated, wealthy, or well-connected. It requires only that you understand and apply the creative principle. That is your birthright as a human being. This principle is no respecter of persons. It works for anyone who applies it, regardless of their background, circumstances, or past failures. I have seen individuals from all walks of life transform their reality through the proper use of imagination. I have witnessed those without formal education achieve intellectual heights beyond the reach of scholars. I have seen the physically frail restore themselves to vibrant health. I have watched the financially destitute rise to prosperity. I have observed the lonely and rejected become surrounded by love and acceptance. All through the same principle I am sharing with you tonight, the principle that imagination creates reality. The question is not whether your miracle is possible. The question is whether you are willing to assume the consciousness required for its manifestation. Are you willing to let go of your present concept of self and assume a new concept that aligns with your desire? Are you willing to live from the end even when all sensory evidence contradicts it? Are you willing to persist in your assumption until it hardens into fact? If your answer is yes, then your miracle is not merely coming, it is here now, waiting to be recognized and claimed. For in the realm of consciousness, where all creation begins, time and space do not exist as we know them in the three-dimensional world. Your tomorrow exists now as a present possibility. By assuming the feeling of that possibility as a present fact, you collapse time and bring your desire into your today. Remember the words of Scripture, before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. This is not some supernatural promise, but a statement of psychological law. The answer to your prayer, your miracle, exists before you even ask for it. It exists as a state of consciousness that you can enter through the portal of imagination. When you truly understand this principle, you will never again beg or plead for your good. You will never again feel dependent on external circumstances or other people. You will know with unshakable conviction that your consciousness is the only reality and everything else is its servant. I encourage you tonight to embark on a bold experiment. Select one desire that you've been struggling to manifest. Perhaps it's a relationship, a job opportunity, a health condition, or a financial goal. For the next 30 days, commit to living completely from the assumption that this desire is already fulfilled. Construct a scene that implies its fulfillment and enter this scene each night before sleep. During your waking hours, conduct your inner conversations as though your desire were already a fact. Do not tell anyone about this experiment. Keep it as a sacred covenant between you and your own wonderful human imagination. At the end of 30 days, you will be amazed at how your outer world has begun to reflect your inner assumption. Your miracle is not subject to chance or luck. It is governed by law, the law of consciousness. This law states that whatever you assume to be true in consciousness must objectify itself in your reality. It cannot do otherwise, for consciousness is the one and only reality, and everything else is merely its projection. Throughout human history, those who have discovered this law have performed what the world calls miracles. But they were not miracles in the sense of violations of natural law. They were the natural expressions of a higher law, the law that consciousness is the only reality. And when consciousness is changed, reality must change to reflect it. As we near the conclusion of our time together, I want to emphasize a critical point. Your miracle is not contingent on anything outside yourself. It does not depend on the economy, the government, other people's opinions. your past experiences, or your present circumstances. It depends solely on the state of consciousness you assume and maintain. This understanding liberates you from the tyranny of circumstances. You are no longer a victim of conditions, but a creator of conditions. You are no longer at the mercy of the world, but are the master of your world. For the world is nothing more than your consciousness objectified. I invite you tonight to embrace this liberating truth. Your miracle is already yours in consciousness. Claim it, feel it, live from it, and watch as the outer world reshapes itself to match the pattern you have established within. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. This kingdom is not a place but a state of consciousness. When you enter the state of having your desire fulfilled, you have entered the kingdom. And from that kingdom, your miracle will manifest as naturally and as inevitably as dawn follows night. Do not give up. Persist in your assumption. For your persistence is not a struggle against reality, but the assertion of a deeper reality, the reality of consciousness, as the only creative power in your world. Your miracle is here now. It exists this very moment in your imagination. By the law of assumption, what exists in imagination must objectify itself in your reality. This is not theory or speculation, it is law. And when you align yourself with this law, nothing in this world can prevent the fulfillment of your desire. Go forth in the conviction that what you have assumed in consciousness is already yours in experience. Live from that conviction and watch as the miracle unfolds before your eyes, not as something new coming into your life, but as the natural expression of what you have already accepted as true, the one and only reality, the reality of consciousness. I leave you with this promise: all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive. Believe not with your intellect, but with your feeling. Feel the reality of your desire now, and in the not distant future, you will hold in your hands the manifestation of that which you have already held in your consciousness. Your miracle is not coming, it has come. Recognize it, claim it, and it is yours. For you are the operant power, and your consciousness is the one and only reality.